The scream tore through the night like a jagged knife, echoing off the vaulted ceilings of the mansion and straight into my chest. I bolted upright in the four-poster bed, heart slamming against my ribs, the silk sheets tangling around my legs like restraints. "Rowan!" Emily's voice cracked from down the hall, raw and desperate, followed by the unmistakable thud of something or someone crashing to the floor. I didn't think. I just ran, barefoot across the cold marble floors of the East Wing, the Hamptons wind howling outside like it knew what was coming. The door to Emily's room hung ajar. And there she was, my best friend since freshman year at NYU, crumpled against her vanity, blood trickling from a gash on her forehead. Her phone shattered beside her. But it wasn't an accident. Her eyes locked on mine, wide with terror, and she whispered, "She's here. Vivian. She knows." I dropped to my knees beside her, pressing my palm to the wound, the metallic tang of blood mixing with the faint lavender scent of her perfume. Emily Harper, golden girl of Manhattan's elite, heir to a real estate empire that spanned from Fifth Avenue to these sprawling seaside estates, had invited me here for a weekend escape. "Just us girls," she'd said over Rose at that rooftop bar in Soho. Her laugh light and carefree, like the weight of her family's legacy didn't crush her every day. "My aunt's place is empty. Total privacy. We can finally talk about everything." Everything meaning the secrets we'd buried since college, her hidden flings with women who weren't supposed to matter, my own quiet ache for something real amid the grind of my freelance graphic design gigs in Brooklyn. But Vivian Harper wasn't just Aunt Viv. She was the shadow over it all, Emily's father's sister. The untouchable widow who'd turned the family fortune into a fortress after her husband's mysterious yacht accident 5 years ago. 45. Vivian was a force, sharp as the stiletto she never took off, beautiful in that cold, sculpted way that made tabloids call her the Ice Queen of the Hamptons. I'd only met her once, briefly, at Emily's holiday party last Christmas, enough time for her piercing blue eyes to linger on me a beat too long, her manicured hand brushing mine with a spark that felt like static electricity. Or warning. "Rowan. Listen," Emily gasped, gripping my wrist as I helped her to her feet. Her blonde curls were matted with sweat, her usually flawless makeup smeared like war paint. "I didn't tell you the whole truth about why I asked you here. It's not just a break. It's her. Vivian's been watching me. She thinks I'm weak, that I'll ruin the company. And you're the leverage she wants." Leverage? The word hung in the air like smoke from a smoldering fire. We stumbled into the hallway, the grandfather clock in the foyer chiming 2 a.m., its brass face gleaming under the chandelier's dim glow. The mansion was a relic, built in 1920 by some robber baron, all Gothic arches and ocean views that screamed old money. Tonight, it felt like a trap, every creak of the floorboards a footstep closing in. We made it to the kitchen, a cavernous space of granite counters and sub-zero fridges stocked with artisanal cheeses no one ate. Emily slumped into a bar stool, and I grabbed a dish towel, dabbing at her cut. "Start from the beginning," I said, my voice steadier than I felt. 25. I talked my way out of bar fights in Bushwick dive bars and deadlines that could have sunk my portfolio. But this was Harper family drama. The kind that ended in headlines and therapy bills. Emily swallowed hard, her hazel eyes darting to the French doors leading to the terrace. Rain lashed against the glass, blurring the dark lawns beyond. Vivian's always hated how Dad babied me. After he died, heart attack. Official story. But everyone whispers it was stress from her schemes. She took over the board. She's brilliant. Rowan. Cutthroat. Turned our losses into billions. But she's obsessed with control. Lately, she's been different. Paranoid. She found out about my girlfriend last year. The one in LA. Made her life hell, leaked rumors. Froze assets tied to her startup. Now she knows about us. Not everything. But enough. That night at the party. When she looked at you. It wasn't nothing. My stomach twisted. The unspoken thing between Emily and me. Born in late-night dorm confessions over cheap wine. Evolving into stolen kisses at house parties when the world wasn't looking. We'd never labeled it too messy. Too risky with her family's conservative streak. But it was there. A quiet flame we'd both been too scared to fan. So she invited me here to what? Blackmail you through me. Emily nodded. Tears mixing with the blood. Worse. She wants me out. Says I'm a liability. Distracted by distractions, her words. If I don't step down, she'll expose everything. My sexuality. The affairs. How I've been siphoning funds for. Personal reasons. She trailed off. Shame flushing her cheeks. Personal reasons. The underground art collective she'd funded in queer spaces across the city. The scholarships for girls like us who'd grown up invisible in straight America. Emily's rebellion. Hidden in plain sight. A floorboard groaned upstairs. And we both froze. The house settled. Or so I told myself. But my pulse thundered. We need to leave, I said. Grabbing her hand. Now. Pack a bag. I'll drive us to the city. But as we crept toward the grand staircase, a light flicked on in the study, soft, amber, spilling into the hall like an invitation. And there, framed in the doorway like a painting come to life, stood Vivian. She wore a crimson silk robe that hugged her lithe frame. Her silver-streaked black hair loose over one shoulder. A crystal tumbler of scotch dangling from her fingers. 45. She looked ageless, high cheekbones. Full lips painted the color of forbidden fruit. Those blue eyes locking on me with an intensity that pinned me in place. Leaving so soon. Rowan. Her voice was velvet over steel. Laced with that East Coast polish that made every word sound like a seduction. She stepped forward. Ignoring Emily entirely. Her gaze tracing me from my rumpled tank top to my bare feet. The storm's just getting started. Sit. We need to talk. Emily whimpered beside me. But I couldn't move. Something in Vivian's stare, predatory, yet, but laced with a hunger that mirrored the ache I'd buried deep, held me captive. It was the first betrayal of the weekend. Not Emily's secrets, but the traitorous pull in my gut toward the woman who'd orchestrated them all. The study smelled of aged leather and pipe tobacco. The walls lined with first editions and oil portraits of stern Harpers long gone. Vivian poured me a scotch without asking, sliding it across the mahogany desk with a smile that didn't reach her eyes. Emily hovered by the door, towel pressed to her head, but Vivian waved her off like a pesky intern. Go clean up, darling. This is between grown women. I took the glass, the burn of the liquor steadying my nerves. What the hell happened to her? I nodded toward Emily, who shot me a pleading look before vanishing up the stairs. An accident, Vivian said smoothly, settling into the armchair opposite me, crossing her legs with deliberate grace. The robe parted slightly, revealing the curve of her thigh, and I hated how my eyes flicked there. How heat bloomed unbidden in my chest. She's always been clumsy when she's hiding something. Like inviting her little friend for a rendezvous under my roof. Not a rendezvous, I snapped, though my voice wavered. We're friends. That's it. Vivian laughed, a low, throaty sound that sent shivers down my spine. Oh, Rowan. You're even more delicious when you lie. I saw the way you two danced at that party. The touches that lingered. But tell me, does she make your heart race like this? She leaned forward. Her perfume, jasmine and something darker, like vetiver enveloping me. Her fingers brushed the back of my hand, light as a whisper. And electricity crackled. I yanked away, but not before the spark ignited something reckless inside me. You're blackmailing your own niece, I accused, standing abruptly. The room spun for a second, the scotch, the adrenaline. For what? Power. The company. Her expression hardened, but there was a flicker of pain, raw and unguarded. For survival. Emily's naive. She thinks she can play philanthropist with family money. Parade her indiscretions like they're badges of honor. The board smells blood. Investors pulling out because of scandals. If she doesn't step aside, we lose everything. Including her. And me? What's my role in your little game? Vivian rose, closing the distance between us in 2 fluid steps. She was taller than I'd remembered, her presence filling the room like the storm outside. You, my dear, are the key. Emily trusts you, loves you, even. Convince her to sign the papers tomorrow voluntarily, and I'll make it worth your while. A gallery for your art in the city. Connections. Or, her hand cupped my chin, tilting my face up, thumb grazing my lower lip. Something more personal. The kiss happened before I could process it, her lips crashing into mine with a ferocity that tasted of scotch and desperation. It wasn't gentle, it was a claim. Her body pressing me back against the desk, one hand tangling in my hair, the other sliding under my tank top to trace the curve of my waist. I gasped into her mouth, my hands fisting her robe, torn between shoving her away and pulling her closer. It had been months since I'd let anyone this close, Emily's hesitations, my own fears of being just another secret. Vivian kissed like she owned the world, demanding surrender. And God help me, I gave it for a heartbeat. 2. Then reality slammed back. Emily upstairs, bleeding and broken. This woman's machinations unraveling us all. I broke free, shoving her hard enough to make her stumble. You're insane, I panted, wiping my mouth, the taste of her lingering like sin. This isn't a game. It's lives. Vivian's eyes darkened, but she didn't pursue. Everything's a game, Rowan. And you're playing whether you like it or not. She straightened her robe, composure snapping back like armor. Sleep on it. Breakfast at 9. We wouldn't want Emily to slip again. I fled to my room, a guest suite with ocean views and sheets that smelled of lavender, mocking my turmoil. The clock read 3:17 a.m. Sleep was impossible instead. Pace. Replaying the kiss. The threat. Emily's whispered warnings. By dawn, the sky had cleared to a deceptive blue. But inside me, the storm raged. Betrayal wasn't just Vivian's, it was mine. For wanting her even as she tore everything apart. Breakfast was a farce. Emily at the head of the sunlit dining room, bandaged and pale, picking at avocado toast. Vivian at the other end, elegant in a white linen suit, scrolling her tablet like a queen holding court. I sat between them, the tension thick as fog off the Atlantic. "Good morning, Rowan," Vivian purred, her foot brushing mine under the table. "Accidental? Never." "Sleep well. Like a baby," I lied, spooning yogurt I couldn't taste. Emily shot me a questioning glance, but I avoided her eyes. How could I explain the heat pooling low in my belly at Vivian's proximity? The way her gaze stripped me bare? The morning blurred into a state business, Vivian dragging Emily into the study for discussions, their voices rising behind the oak door. I wandered the grounds, the manicured lawns rolling down to the private beach, waves crashing like accusations. 28. I'd built a life of independence, crashing on friends' couches in Brooklyn, hustling designs for indie brands, finding solace in queer poetry slams where vulnerability was currency. But here, amid the Harper's gilded cage, I felt exposed, my desires laid raw. By noon, Emily found me on the terrace, her face drawn. "She's pushing the papers. Says if I sign, she'll fund my projects anonymously. No more hiding." She leaned against the railing, wind whipping her hair. "But I can't, Rowan. It's selling out. Everything we've fought for." I pulled her into a hug, her body familiar and warm against mine. "Then we fight back. Together."
Our lips met soft. Tentative.
The kiss we'd both craved but delayed. It was sweet, like summer rain, a promise of what could be if the world allowed it. But as Emily melted into me, guilt clawed at my throat. Vivian's taste still haunted me, a poison I couldn't purge. That afternoon, Vivian cornered me in the library, shelves towering with leather-bound tomes that smelled of dust and forgotten dreams. "Seen enough?" she murmured, backing me against the ladder. "Emily's fire is admirable, but it'll burn her out. You could save her. Save us all." Her hand trailed down my arm, igniting sparks. "Us," echoed, voice hoarse. A ghost of a smile. "I've watched you, Rowan. From afar, your Instagram sketches, the way you light up rooms without trying. Emily's safe. I'm the risk you crave." She kissed me again, slower this time, her tongue teasing mine with expert precision. I arched into her, hands roaming the silk of her blouse, unbuttoning with trembling fingers. We tumbled onto a velvet chaise, her body a landscape of soft curves and firm resolve, breasts full against my palms, hips grinding in rhythm with my gasps. It was wrong, intoxicating. Her whispers in my ear, "Let go, darling. Let me show you power," unraveling me thread by thread. When we surfaced, disheveled and spent, shame crashed over me like a wave. "This changes nothing," I said, pulling away. But it did. Everything. Dinner that night was a powder keg, candlelight flickering on silverware, the ocean a black void beyond the windows, Emily chattering about neutral topics, NYC gossip, a new exhibit at MoMA, to mask the rift I felt widening. Vivian played the gracious host, her laughter a siren's call, but her eyes on me were daggers wrapped in silk. Under the table, her stocking foot traced my calf, a secret Morse code of possession. I shifted, heat flushing my skin, while Emily's hand squeezed mine for reassurance. The betrayal burned mine, for straddling two worlds, tasting forbidden fruit while my friend bled trust. After port and excuses, Emily retired early. Headache, she murmured, kissing my cheek with lips that trembled. Alone in the drawing room, Vivian poured brandy, the fire crackling like judgment. She's asleep, she said, handing me the snifter. We have time. For what? More games. Pace. The Persian rug muffling my steps. Anger a shield against the pull she exerted. She stepped close, her breath warm on my neck. For truth. You think I'm the villain, cold, calculating. But Emily's the one playing with fire. Last year, she nearly tanked a merger because she was distracted by that actress. I covered for her, protected her. And now, she's dragging you into it. A lamb to slaughter. I whirled on her. Protected? You mean controlled? You're her aunt. For Christ's sake. Family. Family, Vivian spat. The word venomous. The Harpers eat their own. My brother, your Emily's father, died because he trusted too much. Soft heart. Like hers. I won't let her repeat it. Her voice cracked. The first real fracture in her armor. She turned away, staring into the flames, shoulders taut. I was like you once. 25. Full of ideals. Fell for a woman who promised the world, board member. Married. Straight passing lies. She left me shattered when the stakes got high. I've built walls since. But you. She faced me. Vulnerability raw. You see through them. The room tilted. Vivian. Queer. The Ice Queen. With a past that echoed my own scars. The ex who'd ghosted after coming out drama. The hookups that fizzled into regret. I crossed to her.
Tentative.
My hand on her arm. Then why this? The threats. The manipulation. Because love is dangerous. Rowan. It blinds us. Her fingers wove into mine, pulling me close. The kiss started tender, lips brushing. A question but ignited into storm. We shed clothes like inhibitions. Her body yielding under my touch. The elegant arch of her back. The soft give of her thighs as I knelt. Tasting her with a reverence that bordered on worship. She moaned my name. Fingers in my auburn hair. Guiding me deeper into her heat. It was worship and war. Her climaxes pulling gasps from me. My own release crashing as she pinned me down. Mouth claiming every inch with fierce devotion. After. Tangled in the rug's weave. Sweat slick and sated. She traced patterns on my freckled shoulder. Stay, she whispered. With me. After Emily signs. We could have this real. No shadows. I wanted to believe her. Got. How I did. In her arms. I felt seen, not as Emily's sidekick or the broke artist scraping by, but as a woman worthy of empires. But doubt gnawed, the papers on her desk. Crisp and waiting. Emily's trusting smile that morning. What if I can't? I murmured. Her grip tightened. Then you lose her anyway. I'm the only one who can keep this family, and you whole. Sleep evaded me again. The guest bed a battlefield of sheets. By midnight, I slipped into Emily's room, the door creaking like guilt. She stirred as I climbed in, her body curling into mine instinctively. Rowan, she mumbled, sleepy and soft. I am here, I lied, holding her as the lie settled heavy in my chest. We made love then, gentle, exploratory. her hands mapping my body like a familiar map. Kisses along my collarbone. Fingers teasing until I arched. Whispering her name like a prayer. It was home. This tenderness. Emily's laugh muffled against my neck. Her heartbeat syncing with mine. No power plays. Just us, two women navigating a world that demanded we hide. But as she drifted off, peaceful, I stared at the ceiling's ornate molding. Vivian's words echoing. Leverage. The weekend stretched ahead. A minefield, tomorrow's family meeting. The board on standby via Vivian's jet to Manhattan. I had to choose, protect Emily's dreams, or chase the dangerous spark with Vivian that threatened to consume us all. Dawn broke gray. The ocean churning under low clouds. Breakfast was strained. Emily animated about a charity gala. Oblivious or willfully blind. Vivian's gaze on me a brand. Promising nights of silk and sin. After, she pulled Emily aside again. Voices escalating. Accusations of betrayal. Pleas for reason. I wandered the beach. Salt wind stinging my eyes. Collecting shells like talismans. 25. I'd always run toward chaos. Tattoos in dimly lit parlors. Road trips with no map, but this felt like drowning. Emily found me mid-afternoon. Sand caking her espadrilles. She's relentless, she said. Plopping down beside me. Waves lapped at our toes. Cold and insistent. Wants me to sign over control. Says it's temporary. Till I prove myself. But I know her, she'll never let go. I nodded. Throat tight. What if she's right? About the risks. Emily's head snapped up. Hurt flashing. You're taking her side? No. No. I pulled her close. But the lie tasted bitter. Just. Scared. For you. For us. She softened. Leaning into me. Us. Yeah. Her kiss was salt-tinged.
Urgent.
Hands fumbling with my sundress straps. We tumbled onto the dunes. Hidden by seagrass. Her mouth hot on my breast. Fingers delving with a desperation born of fear. I cried out into the wind. Release a brief rebellion against the tide pulling me under. Afterward, she traced my tattoos, a phoenix on my ribcage. Inked after my coming out implosion. You're my anchor. Rowan. Don't forget. I held her tighter. Memorizing the curve of her hip. The freckles on her nose. But as we walked back, arm in arm, Vivian watched from the terrace, silhouette against the mansion's glow. Expression unreadable. A chill ran through me. Not from the breeze. Evening brought the storm. Thunder rumbling like distant artillery. Rain sheeting the windows. Dinner was takeout lobster rolls, Vivian's attempt at casual. Eaten in the conservatory amid potted orchids and jazz from a vintage turntable. Emily retired early again. Storm jitters, leaving Vivian and me alone with the downpour. Dance with me, she said. Extending a hand. Ella Fitzgerald crooning about love gone wrong. I hesitated. Then surrendered. Her body fit mine like a glove, waist nipped in. Hips swaying with practiced allure. We moved slow. Her cheek against my temple. Breath sinking. I meant it, she murmured. About us. I've never felt this. Alive. Not since her. The ex. Curiosity one. What happened? Vivian's step faltered. She chose safety. The firm. Her husband. Left me with nothing but rage. Her eyes glistened, tears or rain shadows. I swore I'd never be that vulnerable again. Until you. The confession cracked something in me. Kissed her there. Amid the ferns. Rain drumming a frantic beat. It escalated fast, her pinning me against the glass wall. Cold droplets seeping through. My legs wrapping her waist as she lifted me. Her fingers were magic. Curling inside me with precision that drew sobs from my throat, I returned the favor. Nails raking her back. Tasting the salt of her skin. We came together in a symphony of gasps. The storm our witness. But climax faded to clarity. As we dressed, panting, I whispered, "This can't work." "Emily, we'll understand," Vivian interrupted. Fierce. "Or she won't. But you choose now. Rowan. Me or the girl who'll never fully have you." Her words sliced deep. That night, alone, I scrolled old photos, Emily and me at Pride. Rainbow face paint smudged. Vivian's hidden Instagram. A private account of abstract art and ocean sunsets. Hinting at the woman beneath the mask. Dawn crept in. Decision unresolved. The air thick with impending doom. The meeting was set for noon in the solarium, glass walls framing the roiling sea. Emily in pearls in resolve. Vivian in power red. Documents fan like a poker hand. I sat silent. Heart a war drum. Emily scanned the pages. Face paling. This isn't temporary. It's full control. Indefinitely, Vivian leaned forward. Voice honeyed steel. It's protection. Darling. Sign. And your secrets stay buried. Refuse. Her eyes flicked to me. Consequences. Emily's gaze followed. Confusion morphing to horror. Rowan? What have you? The dam broke. Nothing. I exploded. Standing. She's lying. Eminência. Using me to get to you. But Emily's eyes narrowed. Pieces clicking. The rumpled clothes. The flushed cheeks. The avoidance. You've been with her. Haven't you? Silence roared louder than thunder. Vivian smirked. Triumphant. I crumbled. Tears hot. I'm sorry. It was. Betrayal, Emily finished. Voice shattering. She shoved the papers at Vivian. Take it. All of it. But we're done. Both of you. She stormed out. The door slamming like finality. Vivian reached for me. But I recoiled. What have you done? Saved her, she insisted. From herself. From us dragging her down. But as Emily's car peeled down the drive, tires spitting gravel, I saw the cost. A family fractured. A love poisoned. And in Vivian's arms that night, desperate, devouring, I tasted not victory, but ashes. The mansion felt hollow after Emily left. Echoes of her engine fade swallowed by the wind. I packed in a daze, shoving sundresses into my duffel. The beach shells scattering like accusations. Vivian found me in the foyer. Raincoat draped over her arm. Don't go, she said. Voice stripped of its polish raw. Almost pleading. We can fix this. How? I zipped the bag. Shoulders aching from the weight of it all. You broke her. Us. She stepped closer. The scent of jasmine clinging despite the storm. She'll heal. Emily's resilient. And you. You feel this too. The pull. Don't run from it. I wanted to. Got. The safety of Brooklyn's chaos, subway rumbles, Late-night diners with queer chosen family, called like a lifeline. But Vivian's hand on my cheek anchored me, thumb wiping a tear I hadn't felt fall. 45. Her beauty was weathered grace, faint lines at her eyes from squinting at horizons, a scar on her collarbone from some long-ago fall. Human. I never meant to hurt her, she confessed. Just protect. Like I couldn't protect myself. The vulnerability undid me. I kissed her fierce, forgiving, our bags forgotten as we stumbled back to the study. It was frantic, clothes shed in a trail, her body arching under mine on the desk, papers crinkling beneath us like ironic confetti. I explored her with new intent, tongue tracing the scar, fingers coaxing moans that built to a crescendo. She reciprocated, lips on my inner thighs, eyes locked on mine as she brought me to shattering release. Stay, she gasped against my skin. Build with me. Temptation warred with truth. We spent the afternoon in bed, her king-sized haven upstairs, canopy drapes billowing, talking between touches. Vivian unspooled her history, the closet at Yale, the affair that scarred her, the marriage of convenience that ended in that yacht accident. Not murder, but a drunken fight. Her husband's rage at her infidelity. I pushed him overboard in self-defense, she admitted. Voice hollow. Covered it up. Became the monster to survive. I held her then. No judgment. Just the quiet understanding of women who'd bent for a world that wouldn't. You're not a monster, I whispered, kissing her temple. Just surviving. By evening, the storm broke, stars pricking the velvet sky. We drove to the city in her Bentley, top down. Wind therapy, her hand on my thigh. A promise unspoken. Manhattan glittered. Indifferent. As she dropped me at my walk-up. Call me, she said. Lips lingering. We'll figure the rest. Weeks blurred. Freelance gigs stacking. But my sketches shifted, bold lines. Vibrant hues. Vivian's influence bleeding in. Emily ghosted me. Texts unread. A chasm of hurt. Guilt gnawed. But so did longing, for Vivian's texts at 2 a.m. Cryptic art shares. For the woman who'd cracked my walls. Then, the call. Emily's number. Voice small. Coffee? Neutral ground. We met at a midtown cafe. Her thinner. Shadows under her eyes. I signed, she said over lattes. Stirring too hard. Lost the company. But gained. Space. Therapy. Figuring out who I am without the Harper weight. Relief flooded me. I'm proud of you. She eyed me. Cautious. And you? With her. Honest. I leaned in. Complicated. But real. Emily nodded. A sad smile. I get it. We were always more sisters than lovers. Be careful. Though. Vivian. She loves hard. Breaks harder. Her words haunted as I met Vivian that night. At her penthouse overlooking Central Park. Skyline a jagged crown. Dinner was candlelit pasta. Wine flowing like confessions. We made love on the bearskin rug, slow. Reverent. Her whispers of I love you slipping free mid-thrust. My own echoing back. Afterward. Tangled and tracing constellations on her skin. Asked. What now? Emily's free. The board. She sighed. Fingers in my hair. I'll step back. Mentor her. Maybe. But us, you and me, we build something new. No empires. Just this. It sounded like a dream. But dreams fracture. The betrayal came swift. 2 months in. A leaked email chain Vivian's to board allies, plotting to undermine Emily's quiet investments in queer nonprofits. Insurance, Vivian called it when confronted. Face ashen in her office. In case she backslides. Insurance. I hurled the printouts. You promised. I protected us, she shouted. The penthouse echoing. Love makes you weak. Rowan. I couldn't risk. You risked everything. Tears streamed. Hot fury. The kiss I gave her was goodbye bitter. Bruising before I stormed out. Heart splintered. Brooklyn welcomed me back. Dive bars with drag shows. Friends' hugs that healed slow. Emily and I rebuilt sisters. Truly, her launching a small foundation. Me exhibiting sketches at a Bushwick gallery. Vivian's texts came sporadic. Apologies. Art links. Then silence. A year later. The invitation. Emily's wedding to a soft-spoken curator named Lena. Ceremony in the Hamptons mansion. Reclaimed as neutral ground. I almost declined. But curiosity or masochism won. The lawn bloomed white. Ocean calm. Emily radiant in lace. Vivian arrived last. Silver streaks more pronounced. Eyes finding mine across the aisle. No rope. No power suit, just a simple black dress. Vulnerability etched in her stance. After vows and cake. She cornered me by the gazebo. You came. Closure, I said. Though my pulse betrayed me. She nodded. Handing me a slim envelope. Not closure. An offer. Inside. Gallery funding. Dovey. For my work. And a note. I was wrong. Love isn't weakness. It's the only power worth wielding. If you'll have me. Second chances. I looked up. Her blue eyes soft. No armor. 46. She was beautiful still. Lines a map of battles fought. Won. Lost. Why now? Because losing you taught me. Emily's thriving. I'm ready to try. The kiss was tentative, guests milling. Emily's knowing smile from afar. But it deepened. Promise in her sigh. My hands framing her face. We didn't rush. Months of dates followed, quiet dinners. Beach walks. Her learning vulnerability. Me teaching trust. The humanistic truth. No tidy bows. Emily and I mended. Boundaries firm. Vivian and I navigated scars. Therapy our compass. Love. In America's relentless grind, from Hampton's gales to city hum, wasn't conquest. It was choice. Daily to stay. To forgive. To build amid ruins. One night. Tangled in my Brooklyn sheets. No mansions. Just us. Vivian traced my phoenix tattoo. You saved me. You know. I smiled. Kissing her scar. We saved each other. Outside. Sirens wailed. Life pulsing. And for the first time, I believed it.